And welcome back to the HCS Pro League. Elamite and T2 bringing you the action from the Xfinity desk. We just saw our very first match of the night. Pretty epic series against, epic. Optic Gaming, Naventic. Naventic really showing up here today, but still falling short to this Optic Gaming lineup. Now, let's go ahead and take a look, and for any new viewers here, at tonight's matches once again. So we saw Optic Gaming defeat Naventic, like we said. Next matchup here tonight, Splyce versus Luminosity Gaming. Now, you even heard the prediction there from Snakebite, thinking Splyce is going to come out and take this one, but Luminosity Gaming, they've been playing phenomenal. They definitely have a chance to put up a fight, and if it's anything like we saw in that first series, we can expect some exciting action here. Looking at the Luminosity Gaming roster here on your screen.
Yeah, and one of the things that stood out to me the most was when Snakebite said that these guys are really starting to come into their own and find their play style, and keep in mind that they were a newly formed squad about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So they had a little bit of growing pains. They had to go and fight through and find exactly how they wanted to attack each single game type and attack each single team. And this is the guy that you're looking at right now, who is the newest addition to this squad. That's going to be Timothy Tinkler Rain, who is doing a great job filling Ninja's shoes, which were some pretty big shoes to fill. Ninja, great player and a great leader overall.
Yeah, I mean, Ninja, he had some phenomenal series. We've seen him completely take over games, and Rain, he's kind of done the exact same thing. When his guy gets a sniper rifle in his hands, we've seen him pull off some insane clips and amazing plays there. So like we said, this is Splyce going up against Luminosity Gaming.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and take a look at these game types and see what the game types are that these guys are going to be playing. It's going to be Empire Strongholds to start. So 2 Empire Strongholds that we're going to see another Coliseum CTF going to pop up as well. And there's Regret. Again, we touched base on it. We didn't see much of it in the previous couple of weeks, so we're going to see it popping up a lot more. This time it's going to be game number 5, which a lot of people expecting this series to go the distance. And when I looked at these matches to start, we touched base on it before. Red team, they're going to be the favorites because of how far now that we are in. We are past the halfway point. So the blue team always going to be the underdog based on the standings and the way that the red team always gets the priority side. So we're looking at this series being extremely close. And then again, you're going to have that Envy series coming up, and then you're going to have Liquid playing up against Evil Geniuses. So all of these series, just based off that Naventic series alone, you could tell that the teams have grinded over this little break that we have had, and much improvements have been made.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You can't even argue anything different with what we're seeing here, especially what Naventic was able to do, making that series so close and so entertaining to watch as well. Like we said, this is Splyce. This is our DreamHack Atlanta champions here coming out, and we've seen them kind of fall short earlier here in the season, kind of struggle with some of their, cohesiveness and the chemistry there within the team. We multiple times just saw people look like they didn't know what they wanted to do, where they wanted to go, which was completely different than we saw at DreamHack Atlanta, because those guys were just in full control of Optic Gaming, and we saw some of the best Halo 5 we've seen played.
Also, this is a good opportunity to touch base on something that we missed in the previous series talking about Lethal is Lethal, Shotzi, and also Moses FPS. Those are the 3 people from the Halo community that are nominated for Esports Industry Awards. So guys, go ahead and support the Halo community and go and vote. If that's what you want to vote for, go ahead and vote and support the Halo community as much as possible. Just getting those names in there, it's great to see overall. So shout out to all of those guys. And yes, this team of Splyce, they are built off young talent alone. You have Renegade as well, who he's one of the up-and-coming players as well. He's extremely deadly, so you got to watch out for him, especially in game number 1s. I believe we saw him in a Fathom CTF game just completely manhandle. I forgot what the squad was, but it was a 13-2 performance coming out from Renegade in game number 1. So you cannot afford to let these guys get the weapons. On the other side, I'm looking for APG potentially to have a big series. I think Rain's going to normally bring it. And then I'm watching for Saiyan. Saiyan, very deadly here. We're going to find out on Empire Strongholds who's going to be able to get this lead to start the series 1-0.
Yeah, and I'm excited to watch this one here. And I want to start this one off probably with someone from Splyce here to see if they've been able to turn anything around here from the first half of the season. Of course, it's been a long break here, but we are looking at the very first game here. Once we get everything squared away here with the players, going to be that Strongholds on Empire.
And we saw the pit retaken so many times in the previous series. Teams have to watch out for when the overshield is popping up and the camo popping up. That is a great opportunity to try to steal the pit. So sometimes when the overshield's coming up, you're going to see maybe 2 or 3 guys go outside to set up for that one. why not just kind of split the map, give that up if you have to, if you don't have control, go and try to sneak the pit and maybe try to get away with the camouflage as well to try to go and put the other team on the back foot and force that overshield guy into a little bit of a sticky situation like we saw Contra and Aventic do.
Yeah, and we saw Optic Gaming do that multiple times. Even Aventic did it at least once in that series, as opposed to going for the pit, trying to overwhelm that location, just rotating outside, going for the opposite bases. Once you have both side bases, you have to pull a member from the opposing team to, out of contesting pit there. And that's when the best opportunity to grab those. With the respawn times and how small those maps are, you're constantly coming off spawn, just throwing grenades into the pit, and that's why we see a lot of them being stopped there and why contesting that pit, even for a second, can be so important at times.
Yeah, and one thing to not do is wait till the game ends to get inside of the stronghold. That could be another big key to the victory here coming up for either one of these squads too. But looks like having a little bit of a lobby issue. We're going to get that figured out, and then we will start this game up very shortly. So, Kyle, we heard Snakebite's predictions. He thought it was going to be a 3-2 in favor of Splyce. Do you feel like Luminosity is going to be able to win this series and have the upset, or do you think that Splyce is going to be pulled off in a very similar series score that PJ was expecting?
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go over towards Luminosity's side
3-2?
here. 3-2 Luminosity. I think that they can absolutely do it. We talked about it before the series. This is going to be one of the teams with the lower seeds that's, kind of on the come up and with a lot of potential here with that new Rain pickup here for this squad. Things are coming together for them. Snakebite pointed out they've been winning some of their scrims recently. They're up against the Splyce squad, and we haven't seen Splyce perform at that DreamHack Atlanta level quite yet here during fall season. So yeah, I mean, if Splyce comes out and they're playing like they were in Atlanta, then it is scary for anybody, even the Optic and Envy's going up against them. But if they're playing like we saw earlier here in the season, Luminosity, they are the ones that are looking really strong.
And something to keep in mind is that they are a team that's continually improving. And Splyce, they improved so well up to the point where they ended up winning DreamHack Atlanta. But since then, I don't know, is it arguable that they haven't looked as strong as they have in Atlanta, Kyle? I'm going to go and say that they haven't. And I think that sometimes what happens is when you win an event is you slow down just a little bit. Even if it's just 1 or 2%, it's still not that same hunger that you had leading up to the event. And I don't know if Splyce is bringing that to the table. Another thing to keep in mind, these guys are, no longer in summer, which when they're young, they're still in school, things like that. They now have to, take some of that time away from grinding it out, go back to school, and that's going to take away some time from other players that are doing it full time and not as well. So a little interesting to see how that ended up panning out for them in the time frame that they were able to win. But I want to see these guys playing at their highest level in this series, because when they do, they are one of the most fun teams to watch.
Yeah, and you heard it from Boobadooboo in some of the interviews before. He said he finally got a taste of winning, and he does not want to let that go. So all four of these guys definitely on the same page of what they want to accomplish and how they want to be considered as one of the best Halo 5 teams we've ever had here competing here, putting themselves on the same level as Optic Gaming and Team Envious. Liquid, they've tried their best to do that, falling short a couple times, finishing multiple second-place finishes. Then that Splyce lineup was what was formed and really cemented themselves as one of those top 3 teams here. So there are a lot of strong rosters here, more than we've ever seen in the past, competing for those #1 spots. Now everybody's getting close to the same level.
Yeah, based on play styles and based on this game type right here that I'm looking at, I know we talked about some of the players to highlight throughout the series, but in this specific game right here, I'm looking at Shooter, and I'm looking at Shooter and Boobadooboo, and I'm looking at APG and Rain here, because I think that these, without any weapons, that Saiyan and Trippy, they're extremely deadly. All of these players are extremely deadly with weapons, but in particular, I'm looking at the players that are known for kind of the run and gun style here, and also Shooter, who's really the sneakiest, one of the sneakiest players that we have out there to kind of maybe make one of these big plays that he's known for, maybe camping in security and getting an unexpected back whack or some sort of reset when they really need him. So here we are. We're kicking this series off with Rain.
Yeah, you're pointing him out here, already grabbing a perfect kill to open this one up. So it's going to be a trade 3v3 situation. Trippy was able to get himself his overshield, so that is a big win here coming out for Luminosity. Already focusing on pit. No side bases have been taken quite yet. You can see blue base is about almost halfway over there. Pit is going to be the first hill we see taken. And then rather than blue in general, you did have Luminosity push all the way across the map, get pit, and then red base here.
Yeah, and Shooter's the only player on Splyce right now to even pick up any kills. Meanwhile, everybody's got a kill on the side of LGB's side. It's Trippy. We got some Tweets coming in. It is the Sims working late but watching Illmight and T-Squared talk Halo at 2 a.m. is always fun. Sims, thank you so much, man. Always appreciate the tweets coming in as well, guys. Always hit us up on social media so your tweets could potentially be on the show. Great triple kill coming in there for Trippy. Hashtag HCS at ESL Halo. Make sure that you try to get onto the show, just like your man Sims.
Yeah, Sims, great job over there in Atlanta. I know he must have had a great time watching some of those games, seeing the level of competition here for the European squads increase the level that they might be able to compete here, make a run for some of those top 6 placings here in North America.
Great start here for LG. We're going to see how many points they're going to be able to accumulate off of their original setup. It's already 22, and if they can continue to hold this until the next round of power-ups, they're going to put Splyce in a very tough situation to either choose going for the power-ups or potentially retaking the pit, as we were talking about earlier on. That's a great trade right there coming in from APG. You could see that Boobadooboo desperately wanted to win that and then take that side base as well. We're looking at a triple cap on the board right when the power-ups are coming up, so it went from bad to worse for Splyce.
Yeah, it really did, but Boobadooboo, he grabs himself a kill. Shotzzy has one, so this is a 2v4 situation. Luminosity, if they're able to grab these power weapons, or excuse me, power-ups, they'll be pretty impressive considering they're kind of on the back foot as far as that numbers go, but they were able to get the help, so that is going to stop some of the bleeding here. That time's not going to be accumulating quite as quickly here, but we'll see who gets that overshield. Looks like it was Renegade able to secure that one. Now Camo is going to be the point where everyone's fighting over.
Yeah, great bait and switch there, working with Shotzzy. You can see Shotzzy was sacrificing his life, trying to get in between him and the overshield player that does eventually go on over to Renegade, as you mentioned, Kyle. So you're going to see this is the opportunity for Splyce to get back into it, but they let so many points go onto the board. LG almost to 50 points before Splyce answers the call. So one of the things that I really like to do in Strongholds games as a great ground pound comes in from Renegade is look at how long the initial setup lasted for one team and then compare that to the setup for the other team. And typically, whoever controls that first setup longer is going to give you a lot of information on who's going to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a scoreboard that is very similar to what we saw in that first series, Optic Gaming versus Naventic here. 49 now to 10, so almost hitting that halfway point here for Luminosity and securing, not able to secure that power or overshield the second time around, but nonetheless, 3 dead here for Splyce. All 4 up for Luminosity, 3 people focusing on the pit. That is going to quickly change control.
This is exactly what we're talking about, Kyle. Look at how long this setup lasted for LG, and then only 15 points is how long it lasted for Splyce. That's just not good enough if you're Splyce. You need to just bring that closer a little bit, at least make it half, at least make it 50 to 25 or something. Going all 3 dead, well, almost all 4 dead, and then having all 4 members alive for LG, that's a no-brainer that they're going to be able to get the pit. Fortunately for Splyce, they didn't push that even further and go for the triple cap because Renegade was able to stay alive. Now all 3 dead, almost all 4 dead for LG as the rest of the players from Splyce starting to push in. Could be a big missed opportunity there from LG, but you got to give credit where it was due. Splyce, they were not having it. They do not want LG to go onto this run. If they were able to continue to hold setup right there, things could have got very scary for Splyce. They would have continued to hold pit, they would have got overshield, and they would have got camo. So huge slays coming in. And now Trippy's going to pick up the overshield on the side. What?
That is some nice timing there by APG. So not only that, like they were only able to get 13 seconds in their second opportunity of having control here for Luminosity, but that 13 seconds came across very quickly, but then they got overshield and camo right after that. So crazy good job here from Luminosity.
Well, now you're going to have Trippy, who's trying to fend off multiple players in the pit right there. They're going to have to give it up. So while we did see one setup being very, very nicely held by Luminosity, we're seeing retakes of the pit. So you could say that they're either not holding it as they should, or the other teams are doing a great job of sneaking in there and retaking it. And you got to give more credit to LG because of the fact that they've been able to do it while picking up the power-ups too. Like you said, Kyle, they were able to pick up that overshield. If they can do that again, they are going to be in a great position to win this game. Now is the time for Splyce to try to tie this one up. They cannot afford to give LG another retake, because if that happens, that's definitely going to be another 10 or 15 points. So here it is, triple cap in effect. Let's see if Splyce can tie this game up.
Yeah, so it looks like Luminosity does a good job focusing on one of the side bases, trying to minimize the bleeding, buy some additional time in the length of this game here so they can try to catch their footing again, maybe wait for some of these power-ups and power weapons to spawn, and then push out and regain this pit control here. So now we're seeing a lot of action happening here in Turbine. Wisely backing down here by Shooter. There's going to be a lot of action happening, and at least a 2v2 situation about to go on here. Luminosity, they need to get some kills here before they focus on any of the strongholds.
I'm looking at the stats right now, and it is just completely one-sided on Splyce's side. You have Shotzzy with 17, Shooter with 14. They have 31 kills combined. Meanwhile, Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo and Renegade have a combined 11 kills. Everybody on Luminosity fairly spread evenly, so that is not a good sign for Splyce. Yeah, I'm sure these guys have tons of assists, but you have to be spread evenly throughout that kill feed. Meanwhile, Renegade going for the overkill, and he finds it. Are you kidding me?
That was an insane overkill. That double kill that he got was pretty ridiculous. That ground pound, I thought it was going to stop short on the ledge there in pit, but no, he's able to get over the ledge, connects on the ground, picks up a second melee for that double kill, and then turns it into an overkill here. This triple cap was held very long, getting so much control, making this game now so close here as we head into the final couple minutes of this one.
That was when Splyce needed a clutch moment, and Renegade answers. One alive now. It's only going to be Shooter. What's Shooter's play going to be? He's crouching over towards bottom security side. He lands a nice melee there onto Trippy. That should be enough to contest the pit for the rest of these players, and they do. That's not going to be Rain taking the pit. It's going to be Splyce getting the reset. Splyce, they have continued this run ever since getting that triple cap. Yes, LG stopped the bleeding, but the damage has been done. This game is on the verge of being tied, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, this is Splyce just blowing the door wide open here, getting back into this one. All started with that ridiculous overkill here from Renegade. We were pointing out his kills, what they had a combined 11, so he essentially almost doubled his kill count off that one sequence of events in pit.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He's virtually all caught up to Shooter. Meanwhile, Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo's still sitting at 4, probably has a decent amount of assists, but he's getting a lot of OBJ done as well. And it's not about the stats, especially when you get that debut. And Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo, he's already talked about that in his interviews, which makes it so much more comfortable when you're in these situations, when you look at your teammates having 4 or 5 times the kills as you do, and you still know that they have complete faith in your skill set. Meanwhile, big 1v1 happening right there, and he's going to win it. That's all you need to do. Hold them off towards the pit, just a couple more rounds. It's going to be maybe one more good push here for LG, and Splyce is going to complete a phenomenal comeback.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't matter how many deaths you have or how many kills you have. If you win that 49-49 last battle there, then everything else is just behind the doors. It's all about the W.
Uh-oh, 99, and it goes on over to LG, so this game is not over yet, Kyle. Desperation setting in for LG, and it pays off. They are able to execute that one perfectly, all starting with Rain having perfect shots in a fight that he should not have won. So Rain opening up the map for LG, and a couple trades going on favor into the LG's back pocket. Can they continue to get the reset? They do. That's going to be 3 dead right there. Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo now the last guy alive. He's on the ropes. He's going to drop the Trippy. You can see LG. They know the situation right now. If they're able to hold this again just for maybe one more push, it's going to be their game instead, and they're going to go up 1-0 in this series.
Ooh, and Tom, you know what? It does matter. If you lose 50-49, then the kills and the deaths start coming into effect there. But this is their last opportunity to get in the hill. They have to start charging it. That's 2 dead, 3 dead for Luminosity. Can they get it in time? They've got 2 members there. Just one contest is going to do it. Oh my God,
that was the closest game we've ever seen.
Wait, Splyce? So Splyce got the last second there.
Splyce wins it because defeat came up on the screen from the blue side. They got it in the last tick. That is the closest game of Strongholds or Halo you will probably ever see. What a game.
And Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo's got to be feeling good about that one, because like we said, if your stats are bad, if you win the game, it's all right. Not going to be the end of the world.
But he had 16 assists. We knew that he had tons of assists, had tons of objective work as well. Someone had to be getting all of those kills, and it looks like it was Shotzzy. 27, 7, and 16. What an insane game. Unfortunately for Trippy, he was forced in a 3v1 situation at the end. He picked off 2 of the kills, dropped down, and it's crazy to think about how so many plays happened in this game, and it all came down to a millisecond, Kyle. Not even a second. It came down to a millisecond.
Imagine this time. Oh yeah, this overkill was just absolutely. I thought he was going to get his foot caught on the ledge, take away the damage that comes out of the ground pound when you don't have enough distance there. But sure enough, gets an overkill and a 100-99 victory game. Now, Tom, what I want to point out is we were on board with Luminosity at the end. Right here, Trippy. If Trippy didn't fight this guy and dropped into the hill and contested it, they would have won the game.
And he lost the fight,
And
too.
he lost the fight.
I thought he was going to win that fight and then ground pound the other guy while he was still in the
But
air.
all he needed to do was put his head down, drop into the hill. Didn't even need to shoot his gun. Hindsight 2020, it's easy for us to call that. But holy cow, when a player like that, a jump, literally lost them the game here.
Yeah, could have just fell in there and contested and fought that just a little bit longer. But like you said, hindsight is 2020, and we're already into game number 2, guys. It looks like Rig Slayer. We're 10 seconds in. It is 1-0. Well, it was 1-1, and then Trippy decided he wanted to go for a swim towards the bottom of the map. Boo-boo-doo-boo almost joins him, but clambers back on and picks up that camo. So now Splyce, they are going to have all of the momentum in the world. We're going to find out a lot about this LG roster right now. Can they respond to a very deflating defeat? They had the lead in that game. They had the last stronghold. It was 99-99, and that is when it happened. Splyce with the closest win that we've ever seen. Now it's up to LG to respond.
And you could just tell, man, you can just tell how unhappy Luminosity was with that one. They are looking to get right back into the rest of these games here. They do not want to waste any time thinking about that game number 1 here. We spent enough time talking about it already, Tom. 6-2 lead. Splyce definitely feeling good after that one. Sniper and Scattershot were in control of Luminosity, but Sniper did go down. It was in control of Rain's hands. So essentially the map's cut in half now, and Tom pointed out now.
Splyce just has the weirdest stats, I swear. In this game already, Shooter has 5 assists. He's 0, 5, and 2. They have 7 kills, and he's assisted 5 of them. That is just insane to think about. How much support Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo and Shooter are laying down for Shotzzy and Renegade, and that's what makes their team so unique. And I love to watch them play when they're running on all cylinders. Right now, they have LG on the ropes after that win. I don't care how you split it, whether you're, the first team in the Pro League or the 8th team in the Pro League, or like these guys are sitting kind of right around that 3rd through 5th area. You do not want to lose a game the way that these guys did, and I'm shocked that they started up so fast, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell they're not one to think about that one whatsoever. Looking to jump right back into the next game, just keep playing. These guys love grinding Halo. 14-6 lead now for Splyce, the largest lead we've seen from them so far this series, I want to say. Is, they did take the lead towards the end of that game, game number 1 here, but it wasn't by all that much. And then Luminosity obviously closed that distance. And wow, what a ridiculous end to that game one time. I'm talking about it still now.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking about it. And when you watch the way that these guys are moving around the map on Splyce, they are feeling just a little bit more confident. You can tell their shots, the way that they're moving together, their teamwork especially. And a lot of that comes up from just the amount of energy that goes towards that tail end of the game. It's just such a huge boost. And now that you've picked up 2 camos, you have the red side, all the momentum in the world, it's going to take a huge play from LG, whether that's, I think, Rain with the scatter shot and DMR, or Trippy with the battle rifle. I'm looking at the right-hand side, and those are the only 2 players with any type of weapons right now that could do anything. So it's going to have to be one of these 2 guys, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks like Renegade has run out of camo here. Big Stick comes out of APG to trade with Shotzzy there, but not, is that, I mean, you can't be having trades at this situation. 21-10, Splyce is gradually continuing to build upon this lead. Great grenades come in. That's 2 hit markers. Renegade definitely going to be calling that out to his team here and wait for the collapse to come from Splyce.
Yeah, Renegade staying alive. Trippy, he's going to get a kill onto Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo. Is going to be responded back. It is, so nice little trade coming in. Now you're going to see the rest of Splyce try to add pressure on the bunker area. You did see Rain with the sniper rifle, so now that Renegade has infiltrated this bunker area, LG most likely going to rotate, and that's exactly what they do. Now going to bring the sniper rifle on over towards the carbine side and kind of slow it down as if this was a Strongholds type of game type where they had basement and nest under control.
All right, we're going to make our way over here to Rain, and we talked about him before this series got started. He is arguably one of the best snipers here on his team, one of the best snipers here in North America. And you know, if you're talking about North America, you might as well make it the world. We've talked about how strong the region in North America is for these Halo players. 23-16 now with both power weapons in their hand. You can see, look at those outlines. 4 pistols against a DMR, another DMR, a sniper, a battle rifle, and a scatter shot.
Versus a DMR, another DMR.
Yep.
Numerous
basically.
weapons, a killing spree.
But now, somehow, even with that huge disadvantage as far as weapons go, still able to pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, and you know, 7 kills is not much to make up, especially when you have control and you have Rain with plenty of ammo left in the sniper rifle. So you could do it if you're LG, and this is good for them in my opinion. Slow the game down a little bit, get right back on track. If you're going to have a run and gun game against Splyce where you're just fighting them and they're baiting and switching and you're expecting that you're going to take down, you know, Shotzi in a one-on-one or Renegade in a 1v1, that's not how you want to beat Splyce. You want to beat them with teamwork, or any team really. You want to beat them with teamwork and doing your own baiting and switching and playing your own game here. They can't get too caught up in the previous game. They can't get caught up even on this score. They got to just play the game as it is. They got a little too aggressive right there, and they're very fortunate they got away with the sniper rifle, but now it's up to ABG to do what Rain was trying to do before, and that's land some big shots.
Yeah, I mean, and Rain definitely got caught off guard a little bit by Splyce's defensive setup over here towards barrels. They had 3 players all focused in the same area, knowing, hey, we got a big lead here. Luminosity, they are the ones that have to be the aggressors. We can just wait for them to push and throw some good grenades, maybe pick up some kills, break their control.
Yeah, that's exactly what they were thinking, and now a couple of trades going in, but the lead is starting to shrink just a little bit. It was 8 kills, and now it's only down to 5, so we'll make that 6 there. But that's still a good job from these guys on LG. They just got to continue to hang in there. Try to make this as close as possible. Heck, I want to see a 50-49 here, because if we saw 199, we could be on the verge of the closest series that we've ever seen. Sniper rifle, I'm not sure if it blew off the map, but I think it did. So that's unfortunate for Luminosity because they were in position to go and grab that and lay some hurting on Splyce. 3 kills going on over to LG. Renegade's going to go and push. The spawns are going to be swapped. LG's now going to get Carbine side, and then Bunker side going to go on over to Splyce. Whoever's going to be able to get this kills coming up here is going to have great position for the camo. You can see Trippy, he's looking down there. Everybody knows, and that's why everybody's fighting towards that middle area, but nothing coming quite yet. No kills as Shotzi finds one onto Sand. That should open things up. Boo Boo Doo Boo trying to lay down some hurting onto Trippy. LG, they got to be careful here. Splyce could blow this up.
Oh, a great kill here from Shotzi. Looks like camo did go over in the hands of Boo Boo Doo Boo here. So what was down to a 4-kill lead is back up to 6, as you do have Splyce collapsing, pushing out, clearing out all members of Luminosity over here towards the Carbine side of the map. Boo Boo Doo Boo wisely pushing back over. Gonna try to be a disruption. Listen to some calls from his team. He does not want to give away his location. He wants to wait for some weak players and finish off the kills. Gets 1 kill without taking any kind of damage. Make that 2. This is exactly what you want to do when you have camo.
Exactly what you want to do. Use the entire thing and still stay alive. 7-kill lead. LG, they've done their best to try to bring this one closer, and at times that they have, but Splyce, they are getting the power-ups at the right time, and now they're on verge of potentially going up 2-0 in this series. APG gets the backpack, but it doesn't count. He does lay down a shot onto Boo Boo Doo Boo. A little Needler coming in. Is he going to lay down the hurting? Need someone to get needled so I can stop getting. Everyone thinks that I'm the guy that got needled. Need someone else to get needled on stream.
Oh yeah, Tom, I think you're the most famous needle death of all time that we've had in Halo.
And I didn't even die to Needler. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but Tom, that's not how anybody remembers what actually happened. I remember you getting out PR'd by the Needler.
Okay. Okay. Need to pull up the VOD of my Philadelphia 05 killing spree with dual Needlers onto Saiyan.
Yeah, but I mean,
before there was this Saiyan, there was another Saiyan.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we might go into a Halo History 101, but before we do that, with all this action happening and finally Splyce really kind of pulling ahead here and starting to close the door.
Once Boo Boo Doo Boo went on that camo spree, it really just opened things up.
I just want to back to that game number 1, Tom, while we're here. How many games? I didn't know who won that game.
I was solely paying attention towards who was going to win that game because I knew that was going to pop up. So I was like, all right, whose screen are we on and what is going to pop up? It gets a little confusing. It gets a little hectic. I'm sure that the players at a certain time, except for the people that were in the Stronghold, had no idea if the game, it was that close. It was unbelievable. It was the closest game in Halo that I've ever seen. Very, very entertaining way to start this series. But that's going to be game number 2, going on over to Splyce. They really ran away with that one towards the end. Got to give credit to Bubu, the way that he was able to manipulate the map with that camo and the rest of the guys following suit. Also, Shooter, the guy had a ridiculous amount of assists. I'm not sure how many he ended this game with, but there it is, 18. Meanwhile, we never caught this, but Saiyan, 1 in 14.
Wow, that is definitely not something you see very often here. Take a look at these stats. He had 11 assists, 1 death, a lot of ones going across the board there on his end. But Shotzzy, I mean, what is his ratio now? First game he had 27 kills.
He was positive 10, I think, in the first one. He's positive 11 here in the second one. But you know, you got to give credit to the entire team when someone goes off like that, especially when you see the amount of assists that are coming in from Shooter and from Bubu. I mean, what is that? 3 times, almost 4 times the amount of assists than he had kills coming in from Shooter. That's insane. 18 kills in a Slayer. Very, very rarely are you going to see that. Very rarely are you going to see that. That's just a phenomenal team effort from Splyce.
Yeah, I mean, and you can have more than 50 assists in a Slayer game. Of course, multiple people getting an assist for an individual kill. Those were always the best games to have one as well.
Yeah.
Like, I remember some amplified games back in Halo 3 where we hit 60, 65 assists in a game, being able to take that one. Just insane teamwork. And we saw insane teamwork here coming out of Splyce there. You know, Shooter, absolutely the one leading that charge, but we definitely saw amazing things coming out of Shotzzy. Game number 1 and game number 2 here now, 27 and 20 kills. So he's already at 47 between these first 2 games. There's other people in this game, you combine their first and second game kills, and they're not going to have as much as Shotzi's one game.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, you know, game 1, you just got to go back and think about it for a second. Is it better to lose a game? Me and Dave were talking about this. Me and Walsh were talking about this the other day. He'd rather lose a game 100-0.
Yeah.
He'd rather lose 100-0 than 199. Yeah. I don't know if I would agree with that, but I could see exactly where the thought process is.
I think I agree.
And it makes me wonder, would LG have been better off if they would have just lost game 1, you know, 100-30 or even 100-0 or whatever it was? Because a 1 and what was that, 14 performance from Saiyan? I don't think we're ever going to see that from Saiyan again. And I don't know if it was just that game or maybe still thinking about previously what happened or just a little bit flustered from, you know, a game that should have been yours not being yours. And it's crazy to see how much of this game really is mental. So we're going to find out if LG can either bounce back here or if Splyce is going to continue to ride that wave. My money is on Splyce continuing to do it, but LG, now is their time to show what they are made of, and we're kicking this one off with APG, who's making his way down towards the runway, getting aggressive immediately and getting first strike onto Renegade. He can run this flag if he just tosses a nade, and yeah, exactly. If he just goes in there, pulls that, and this should be a cap if they cover him.
Yeah, we'll see how far he's able to get with it. Saiyan's got the rocket, Shotzi's got the sniper rifle. Yeah, Renegade
took too long.
Picks up a perfect kill there. Shotzzy here now running this flag with sniper rifle, so great heads-up decision by him. Where are these rockets? When are we going to start seeing some of these rockets shot here? Yeah,
he has the flag as well.
Oh, okay, so that's why we're looking at a little bit of a stand-up as far as his weapons go. We'll see what Shotzi's able to do here with this weapon. Very close to connecting on a headshot against APG there. Make that almost a second one. Now we see somebody is on the return. Bubu picks up the kill and secures the return.
That headshot counted?
Shotzzy hits that, and wow, even with the rockets being in favor of Luminosity, they weren't able to stop Bubu from getting that return. This is just Luminosity being so good, but choking.
I don't know if it was a choke. I mean, it's very unfortunate timing for APG in general that he thought he was going to go and just one-shot that guy and get the kill. But at a certain time, you have to leave kills for your teammates, and you also have to time how long it takes for people to come off spawn before you can go and run the flag. And you also have to think about keeping your shields while you're running the flag too. So that's why I was worried that when I saw, hey, you need to go and run this flag, it was just a second or two too late, and that resulted in a counter cap eventually. It could have been 1-0 in favor of LG. Now it's 1-0 in favor of Splyce, not solely because of that play. There's tons of other things that happened because of that. Obviously, the weapons are a huge part as well, but you cannot afford to make little mistakes when you are on a series that you are down 0-2 in.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, if APG had been able to pick up that kill on Shooter, we don't know what Shooter did after that besides stay alive and be over at Snipe Tower, but when that guy stays alive, the importance of a no-shield player putting one individual shot on an enemy player can completely change the outcome of a flag run or even a game there. And that might have been what we just saw saw from Shooter and his amazing job staying alive there.
And what's really worrisome, again, is you have, what, 15, 16 kills on the side of LG. Meanwhile, you only have 10 or 11 on the side of Splyce, yet you're still down 1-0. And they're on the verge of potentially ending this series. So you've got to get it together if you have the slaying advantage and do the objective work. But that's just been the story of LG's series. Just so many unfortunate turns of events. That looks like a good flag. He can go and grab that. Immediately a stick comes out of nowhere and you lose all of that opportunity while they're running another flag. So you just end up getting so demoralized from all these little things that can pile up. And now you're down 2-0 in the game and 2-0 in the series. Very, very unfortunate for LG.
And Tom, I think this game is going to be a case study, or this series is going to be a case study for Dave or Walshy as he talks to you next time about what's best to win, because it just looks like Luminosity straight out of gas after that 100-99 loss.
We'll see. They can still do it. The series isn't over yet, but they have to get going as they were when the series first started. But while you go and you say, okay, maybe LG is playing exactly how they were in the first game, Kyle. Well, guess what? Splyce isn't, because of how hyped up they are after that win. And now they are starting to run at a little bit faster pace than you were expecting before. So even if you were playing the same or just a little bit worse, you have to play even better now to just keep up with Splyce.
I mean, you talk about the reaction of both teams after that game. You lose that game, lots of times there's the blame game comes out. There's a lot of animosity between the teammates. And on Splyce's end, you got Boo Boo Doo Boo saying, I just went 5-18 or something like that this game. He's probably just sitting there laughing that they actually even won that.
Well, this is the opportunity if you're LG, though, to really show what you're made of, because being down 2-0 in the series, 2-0 in the game, and even putting that cap on the board is a great sign for LG in general. And Rain, you can always count on him to try to keep these guys focused. And look at this, Kyle. They're an opportunity, a perfect opportunity to go and run this second flag. I would be shocked if they don't capture this flag. If they don't get this second flag capture, this series is going to be over. They're in perfect position. They have rockets here inside the window. That flag guy should be going in any second. Heck, they're in position to even run another one.
Yeah, when I said they were out of gas, Tom, I might have spoken a little bit too soon there, because once they got control of these power weapons, they're getting re-energized here. Rockets and Sniper were in their control, securing that game.
Unfortunately for Rain, he didn't toss the flag all the way out.
Yeah, that definitely could have worked out a little bit better in their favor. And unfortunately for the whole team, they've turned over the sniper rifle and the rockets here now. Flag does get returned pretty easily. Nobody here from Luminosity contesting that one quite yet. Rocket comes in, grabs some hit markers. Great grenade, or what I thought was a great grenade, doesn't connect there.
Different person.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the other guy was no shields, did a great job. I believe that was APG of kind of doing a little bit of a bait and switch with the guy that was on the snipe street, where he decided he would go and hug the wall, and the other player that would go and be full shields would challenge that. So a great job from LG, not only winning that battle right there, but also tying this game up. That is showing a lot of resiliency. They could have easily fell down 3-0 in this game, but the fact that they fought back, they can go and look at this and be like, all right, guys, game 2, we got blown out, but we should have won game 1, and we definitely had position to go and take game number 3. So got to be proud if you're an LG fan with the way that these guys have been putting it together here in the last couple of minutes. But this is a scary moment, as this last and final flag cap could be going in for Splyce.
And they still have rockets in control, or in their control, Tom. This flag carrier with the rockets, it's going to be a Boo Boo Doo Boo moving these across. Still 3 left in the chamber. I like this play a lot. They're going to bait the flag a little bit, use these rockets to their advantage. Saiyan doesn't see it coming there. Boo Boo Doo Boo, great flank. Going to start relaying that flag.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah, Shooter picks up a double kill himself. Shotzzy is watching that flag go in, and I found him, but it was too late there. 3-2 victory here coming out of Splyce. And that does it for the series, Tom. What was pretty close one in that game number 1. Like we said, one of the closest we have ever seen here in a Strongholds, or even in Halo. And we'll take a look at the stats momentarily here. 15,
what do you know?
13.
Shotzzy, most kills again in the game for his team. But look at this. They got outslayed. It's unbelievable that they weren't able to get it going and get that win. LG, they got to go back and just reevaluate a couple of things. One of those being Empire Strongholds, where they let that one get away. And then in the beginning of this game, allowing 2 easy flag caps going on over. But I got to give them credit. They could have easily fallen over 3-0 in this final game, but the rest of the guys, they refused to quit. They put it together, and they had a strong performance overall, ending the series on a little bit of a high note based on where they could have ended it before. So LG, they definitely have the skills to hang with, I believe it's Liquid that they're playing tomorrow. They're going to have to reset and just brush this series off and just say, hey guys, it's whatever. We made some mistakes. Let's look at it. Let's reevaluate what's going on and try to get better for our series tomorrow. Meanwhile, Splyce, they started getting it going, and they started looking like that team that ended up winning Atlanta. So you got to be scared of the other teams. Once they start get it going, that's what they look like.
Yeah, Shotzi, obviously, in his regular form that we've seen him leading the pack, most kills in all 3 games. And, of course, just the rest of the squad, Renegade, starting to pick up those overkills, have those amazing individual performances like we've seen in the past there. But we do have an interview with a member of Splyce. We're joined by Boo Boo Doo Boo here. Boo Boo Doo Boo, what a crazy game. First thing I want to talk about is obviously that game number 1. What a ridiculous Strongholds. Now, we were talking that this is one of the closest games we've ever seen. Is that the closest Strongholds game you've ever been a part of? And did you even know who won the game when it ended?
To be honest, we killed like 3 of them, and we had Pit like 80% of the way. So I knew if we killed that last guy like at the end that was trying to contest, we won. Just like looking at the timing, I guess, because I knew they were just gonna get 99, and then we were gonna get the last point because we just had to kill the guy basically. But yeah, that was definitely like probably the closest Strongholds I've ever been a part of. Just the fact that it was literally just back and forth the whole game, I feel like.
So you guys were down actually for majority of that Empire Strongholds. You come back to win it. How hyped up were you guys after game number 1? And did that carry over into game number 2? Because looking at your guys' point of views, it seems like you guys were moving maybe 5-10% faster, a little bit more hyped up on the energy levels.
Yeah, I think like halfway through the Empire game, I don't know, I just started yelling, like trying to get us like energized, I guess, just for the just to like realize it's an important match, I guess. So I started yelling, and then I guess everybody else just started getting energetic, and we all started firing on all cylinders after that, I guess.
Now, Tom and I had a little bit of a debate here based on a conversation between him and Walshy. Yeah. Would you rather lose a game 100-99 or 100-0? And the mindset it puts you in and affects you based on the rest of the series.
For me, I'd rather lose 199.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. These guys are crazy. Who wants to lose 100-0?
I don't want to just get, nobody like, at least I could say like, oh yeah, we barely lost that. If I get 100-0, like, all right, like, what did I even do wrong? Like, I just suck, I guess.
All right, new question. 100-1 or 100-99? No, I'm just kidding.
I was still.
That changes everything, Kyle. That changes everything.
It does. I mean,
let me think about that.
The goose, the breadstick. It'd have to be 100-2. To get a real answer, it's got to be 100-2. But either way, we'll move on from that.
All right, so yeah, last and final question, Boo Boo Doo Boo, is we're wondering how you guys feel where you guys are at now compared to where you guys are we're in Atlanta. Do you guys feel like you guys have made improvements, kind of stayed the same, or have other teams made improvements and gotten better or stayed the same as well?
I think a lot of other teams have really just improved. I know for the first 2 weeks of like Pro League, we didn't really practice as much, which kind of hurt us like gameplay wise. We definitely weren't playing anywhere near like how we played at Atlanta, or like how we should be playing. We just making like stupid mistakes that we know like we should never make. And it all comes down to just like staying on your grind and staying on like that schedule of just like, I don't know, you just got to be disciplined basically. You can't let like a win hold you back because you just want to keep winning. That's the goal. So I do think like it's more of us, like we slacked a little bit other than other teams getting better.
Gotcha. Well, Boo Boo, thank you so much for joining us. We see that DreamHack Atlanta trophy creeping in there in the background, but congratulations on your win. I know you got to feel great after some close games, especially like game number 1 there.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. Now, if you like what you see and you want to rewatch any of the action that has taken place, including these ridiculous games we're having here play out today, you can always head over to youtube.com/ESL Halo to find all of the Pro League VODs there. But that does it for our match number 2. When we come back, we will have Ronin versus Envious here in the Pro League here. So make sure you don't go anywhere, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes.